Hi, I'm Dr. Bertice Berry, and I want to tell you a story. It's a big story. Years ago, when my mom was in the hospital, she would ask me to bring these giant chocolate bars. I would bring 6 every day. Or actually, Janine, my manager and sister, would bring them to me because I was laying next to her and staying with her the whole time. So she'd get these 6 chocolate bars, and they were always gone the next morning. And I go, like, what happened to this chocolate? And so one day I saw 2 nurses in the hall, and they were discussing my mom, and one of the nurses didn't recognize the name Berry. And she said, "No, which one is she?" And she said the room number, and she said, "The chocolate lady." And I was like, what did you just call my mother? You know it's okay to say black, right? My mother had been giving out chocolate. She said, "You notice those night nurses get a little bit droopy. Well, I prop them up with that chocolate." And my mother was kind of known for giving people chocolate all the time. Well, one of the times that I was working with the executives at the Hershey company, I shared that story with them. And they were like, "Wow, that's amazing." I said, "Yeah." And even at my mom's memorial service, people came and were handing out chocolate because she had always given them chocolate. My mother had been an alcoholic, and she became a chocoholic, and chocolate was one of the ways that she showed love. And so one day, probably months after my mother had passed, I was driving back down my road, and in the middle of the division of the road, someone had planted some new trees, and they were beautiful new trees, but kids kept breaking the branches. And one day I saw a kid hacking at those branches, and I said, if Mom was here, she'd get those kids. And I saw him, and I pulled over and I said, "Kids, you don't want to do that to the trees. I know you want to climb the trees and break the branches and have kind of fun on the trees, but you want these trees to be here when your kids grow up, and you can watch them, and by then they'll be able to climb those big, strong trees." And they're like, "Whatever, lady." So I was like, ugh. I drove up my driveway, and I walked up the steps of my house, and there at the top of the steps was a package that had come for me, and something said open it, and I opened it, and it was from the Hershey company, and they sent these chocolate bars. Well, I called those kids. I was like, "Kids, come over here." And they came up the steps, and they were a little bit reluctant at first because, and I gave them these chocolate bars, and they were like, "Thank you, thank you." About a year after that, I was buying some carpet, and I'm in the carpet store, and I picked out what I wanted, and I told him how much I needed. And so I gave the young man who was working on my order the address, and his boss yelled from the back office, "That's the chocolate lady." And he came out, and he said, "Let me love your neck." And he hugged me, and I said, "I think you're talking about my mom." He said, "No, you gave my nieces and nephews some chocolate and told them to stop breaking up the trees so that their kids could climb them." And I said, "Yeah, that's me." And he said, "Thank you so much for that." He said, I guess their father had passed away, and so the kids were kind of a little bit rambunctious. And he said, we try to keep them in line, but sometimes all it needs is somebody else to show them some love. And then he gave me a huge discount. I think that we know the way, that our stories have connected to other stories, to other stories. That day, becoming the chocolate lady, it was like inheriting my mother's title. And we do that when we carry on the love, when we carry forth the wisdom, when we carry forth the joy. Sometimes loneliness comes as a reminder that we have to reach out. Sometimes our sadness comes as a way to poke us, to to tell us to look up. And sometimes the thing that frustrates us is the thing that's calling us forth to be connected. I love you. I really do.